Hello everyone. I am Dr. Sheejamol Jacob from Department of Commerce. Today we are discussing GST. So what is GST? GST is Goods and Service Tax. Here we are discussing the GST registered persons and type of supply under GST. This topic is very helpful for you to understand who are the registered persons under GST and what are the different supplies under GST. So this is helpful for you to find that calculate the tax liability, the nature of tax to be paid, the eligibility for input tax credit. These concepts form the base for advanced topics such as place of supply and valuation under GST. Let us begin the discussion with the meaning and classification of GST registered persons. Registered persons under GST. Who is a registered person? A registered person is a person who is registered under GST Act is commonly known as registered persons. So what are the different types of registered persons under GST? The first one is a normal registered person. Who is a normal registered person? Normal registered person is a registered person under GST whose threshold limit is more than 40 lakhs. So if a businessman, his threshold limit or turnover becomes 40 lakhs, he will become a registered person under GST. For normal countries, normal states, it is 40 lakhs, and for northeastern states and for some special economic zone, the threshold limit is 20 lakh. So this category comes under GST registered person. So the threshold limit is 40 lakhs. The next category is normal taxable person. Who is a normal taxable person? He is a regular business entity operating in India. They collect GST from customers and can claim input tax credit on purchases. So these comes under normal taxable person. And composite taxable person. Who is a composite taxable person means he is a small taxpayer who opts for the composition scheme. They pay tax at a fixed rate, normally at 1% on their turnover, and they have no right to claim input tax credit. And also they are not able to issue invoice regarding their transactions. The next category is casual taxable person. So a casual taxable person means he is a person who is occasionally carrying the taxable transactions. So he is carrying his transactions in a state where he has no fixed place of business. Such persons must obtain a temporary registration under GST Act. So this category comes under casual taxable person, and also he should pay his tax in very advancement. The next one is non-resident taxable person. Non-resident taxable persons resides outside India but supplies taxable goods and services in India. So for these transactions, they have to take a compulsory registration under GST before commencing their business activity. So these comes under non-resident taxable persons. Then the next category comes under input service distributor. So he has an office and that office is receiving invoices for input services. He is distributing, or the input service distributor is distributing the input tax credit to its branches or for different units under the head office. The next one is tax deducted at source. That means a tax deductor under GST. Normally, the government departments and notified bodies deduct GST while making payments. So this ensures regular tax collection and prevents tax evasion. So this has to be also to be registered under GST. The next party is TCS collector under GST. Normally, e-commerce operators comes under this head. They can collect tax at source on behalf of sellers. So the collected tax is deposited with the government and credited to seller's account. Next topic is we are discussing types of supply under GST. GST is classifying supplies based on their tax treatment and nature. This classification determines the applicable tax rate and eligibility for input tax credit. What is taxable supply? Taxable supply refers to goods or services on which goods and service tax is levied. The supplier can collect tax and claim input tax credit for his taxable supplies. What is exempt supply? Exempt supply means it includes goods or services on which GST is not charged or charged at nil rate. So for these supplies, the supplier has no right to charge, claim input tax credit. The next one is zero rated supply. Zero rated supplies means for GST is charging 0% of tax on these supplies. Normally these are exports and supplies made to special economic zone units. So here we are charging zero rate, but they can claim, the suppliers can claim input tax credit on this supply, or they can refund their amount paid. Next category is non-taxable supply. This refers to supplies not covered under GST law. GST is not applicable on such goods or services. So these are, for example, the petroleum products, alcohol for human consumptions are comes under non-taxable supply. Next is composite supply. Composite supply means we are combining or naturally bundling two or more items. Such supply is known as composite supply, and tax is charged at the rate applicable to the principal supply. One of the supply is principal supply and the others are complementary supplies, but they are naturally bundled and they are charging the tax rate of the principal supply. Next one is mixed supply. Mixed supply means two or more independent supplies bundled together. The highest tax rate among the item is applicable for this supply. Intrastate supply means if a supply taken place in a state, that supply is known as intrastate supply. So the tax applicable for this supply is CGST and SGST. Interstate supply. Interstate supply means when a supplier is supplying goods from one place to another, one state to another, supply is known as interstate supply, and the tax applicable for this supply is IGST. Reverse charge mechanism. So for reverse charge mechanism, normally in GST the supplier is collecting the tax and pay the tax to the government. But under reverse charge mechanism, the supplier is a non-taxable person, but the recipient is a person who is liable to pay tax. So under this system, the recipient is liable to pay GST instead of the supplier. Such a mechanism is known as reverse charge mechanism. So to conclude, this lecture has explained the various categories of GST registered persons, including normal taxable persons, composite dealers, casual dealers, non-resident taxable persons, as well as special categories such as input service distributors and persons liable to deduct or collect tax. So the lecture has discussed the different types of supply under GST such as taxable, exempt supply, zero rated supply, composite supply, mixed supply, intrastate supply, interstate supplies, and supplies under reverse charge mechanism. These classifications play a significant role in determining the applicable tax and compliance requirements under GST law. A clear understanding of these concepts is essential for both academic examinations and practical applications of GST. Thank you.